Torah guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah nation. Shalom, shalom, Yashar'el and Yahudah, grafted in Gentiles into the body of Hamashiach. To those who love our Yahuah and those that are called by his name. Listen. I think it's critical that we understand. Matter of fact, let's pray. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I thank you for your Ruach HaKodesh. I thank you for Yahushua HaMashiach's witness. I thank you that he was straightened in the 3 years that he ministered and delivered the Torah, the Besorah that you had given him to the disciples that they have given us. I give you praise that he was straightened to complete the work that you had called him, that you had set him apart to do, the work that you have called him to complete, that he did it right until the end, to the point where he was nailed on a tree, he was placed in a tomb, he was raised from the dead, and his blood was sprinkled on the altar and the Shamayim, and you, because of this, being pleased to send us your Ruach HaKodesh. I give you praise. Yahuwah, I pray that the words that I speak be spirit and life by the Ruach HaKodesh which I have received. Yahuwah, I pray in the name of Yahushua Mashiach that no one will be turned out of the way. I won't cause no one to stumble. But that the word would make alive in all things. I give you praise. I thank you, Yahuwah. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I pray. Amen. Listen, it's important that we understand and discern the time that we're in. And, oftentimes I think in the Ruach HaKodesh, the spirit of truth, the revealer of all things, right? He will lead you. He will guide you into all truth. But listen, there is no leading and there's no guiding apart from having received the Ruach HaKodesh. Listen, without the Ruach HaKodesh, man, you are going to be floundering. Without the Ruach HaKodesh, you're going to be lost. You're going to be lost, 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 you're going to be lost. You're not going to rightly divide the word of Yahuwah. You're not going to rightly divide the word, the Torah, the Besorah of truth. Right? You got to have the Ruach HaKodesh. You have to have the Ruach HaKodesh. I don't care what anybody thinks or feel or opinion on this matter is. You have to have the Ruach HaKodesh. And Yahushua Mashiach, Yahuwah has told me that he wanted me to declare to you that you must have the Ruach HaKodesh. And it stands to reason because it's the only thing that's going to seal you. It's going to be the only thing that recommends you to Yahuwah. You have to have his seed in you. Have to. You have to have a seed in you in this place, in this time, in this season, right? You have to successfully pass under the rod of correction, right? Right. You have to successfully receive the Besorah, the Torah, the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. Right? You have to. You have to. You have to. You have to make it through the wilderness, right? And listen, we're in the wilderness now. We're in the wilderness. We're in Mitsrayim now. And he is going to purge the rebels. That's what he's doing now. See, because you have to receive his Ruach HaKodesh. And those who rebel against receiving the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach are rebels. He says, say it again. Those who rebel against the Ruach HaKodesh are rebels. Those that don't want to receive the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach are rebels. Right? They are the rebels of Yahuwah. They are the rebels of Yahuwah. Those who do not want to receive the Ruach HaKodesh, they are the rebels of Yahuwah. You have to understand this in light of the Ruach HaKodesh. You're not going to rightfully divide this Besorah, this Torah, without the Ruach HaKodesh. It ain't going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. Listen. It's nobody leaving these Americas, right? These lands of our captivity without having received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Without having received the Ruach HaKodesh. Ain't nobody coming out of here. Listen, this is the wilderness now. This is passing under the rod now, right? Yahuwah has already poured out his fury because of our ancestor disobedience unto us. He has given us the wake-up call, right? He has given us the wake-up call in Egypt, right? In this wilderness. Let's go to Deuteronomy. No, let's go to Ezekiel. Let's do the Ezekiel real quick. Ezekiel, right? Ezekiel 20 and 33, right? This is where we are now, right? This is where we are now. This is the time. This is where we are now. He says, listen, as I live, saith Yahuwah Eluah, 20 and 33, surely with the mighty hand and with the stretched out arm and with fury poured out, I will rule over you. He has done that. He has stretched out his arm of fury and vengeance because of the sins of our ancestors upon us. He says, I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries, right? Wherein you were scattered with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out, right? Now listen. Understand this. Let's look at the next verse, right? I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Now, this verse actually comes before the verse preceding it. It comes before the verse preceding it. Yahuwah always tells you what he's going to do, right? And then he shows you what he's done in the process in which he's going to do it. He says, listen, I will bring you into the wilderness of the people. What people? The people, the land, the Mitsrayimites, the nations. Where we are. Right? He's going to take us and put us in a place. We recognize who we are now. We Hebrews. Right? We understand, we identify now with where we are and who we are. We are in Mitsrayim. Listen. Let's go. No. Let's keep going. He says, I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and I will plead with you face to face. He says, like I pled with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt. He's pleading with us now. You need to receive the Ruach HaKodesh. You need to receive the witness, Yashar'el and Yehuda. You need to receive the witness. You need to receive his Ruach HaKodesh. You need to be quickened. You need to be made alive. Right? Because that's the only way you are going to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. Ezekiel 36. 36 and 27. I will pour out my Ruach HaKodesh within you, right? And cause you, because of the Ruach HaKodesh in you, right, to walk in my statutes, to keep my commandments, to obey my laws, to keep my Shabbat oaths, which your fathers didn't, to keep my Shabbat, to keep the commandments, right? I will put my Ruach within you and cause you to walk in my statutes. And you shall keep them, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them, right? And ye shall dwell in the land that I have given you. Why? Because Yahuwah has already sanctified his name in you. Him putting his Ruach HaKodesh is him sanctifying his name in you. Listen, you have to understand this. You have to receive this revelation in the Ruach HaKodesh. You have to understand what the scripture is saying. He says, listen, I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and I will plead with you face to face. Right? 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 Like I pled with your fathers in the wilderness in the land of Mitsrayim. Pled with them in the lands of Mitsrayim. In the wilderness of the lands of Mitsrayim. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And Yahuwah shall bring thee into Mitsrayim again on ships, the lands of your bondage, the lands that you are held captive to, right? The lands that you are in, the lands that you are held captive to, right? He ain't taking you out of nowhere else and bringing you into no place and having you go through. No. That's not the way it is. No, that's not. Yahuwah ain't gonna grab us all together, right? He ain't gonna take us all together, right, from the lands of our captivity and put us in all one place, right, and weed us out. No, he's going to do what he needs to do in the lands of our captivities in the wilderness of Mitsrayim while we're here, having been awakened, right? Those who are quickened, who receive the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, those are the ones that are going to be sealed. Those who rebel against it are going to be the ones that are purging. And right now he is, right, through me, pleading with you to let you know that you need to receive his Ruach HaKodesh and walk in his witness. God's going to plead with you. He's going to plead with you through the voice of one crying in this wilderness, receiving the Ruach HaKodesh. Crying in this wilderness, telling you how you must receive the witness. I'm telling you. Listen. You who have ears to hear, listen. Ezekiel 20. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, the wilderness of the people, the wilderness of the people. That word people, right? That word people is translated
Strong's H 5971
in the Greek. Hebrew. Am, right?
Second entry.
The word means nation, people, nations, peoples, persons, peoples of nations, right? Countrymen, kinsmen, kindred, right? He's going to gather you, right? And you're going to be amongst your people, right? Yeah, we woke, ain't we? Right? We're waking up, right? That's the nation. Right? In the countries. Right? The peoples. Our people and the peoples of the other nations. Yeah, We here? No, he said, you'll understand. One way or another, you're going to understand. That's what Jesus said. You'll understand. One way or another, you'll understand. Listen. I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there I will plead with you face to face. I will bring you in the wilderness of the people. Right. He's going to pour out his fury in this land that we have been held as captives. Right? He's going to gather us out of the land that we're scattered. But before then, he's going to plead with us face to face. He's going to have somebody preach this Torah, this Besorah, this word to you over and over and over and over. You must receive the witness. You must receive the Ruach HaKodesh. You must receive the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. You must receive the witness. You ain't going to make it being Hebrew alone. You must receive the witness. You ain't going to make it just adhering to Hebrew customs and doing what you did in the ancient days past. You got to receive the Ruach HaKodesh, and you got to share this message, this Besorah, this Torah with your brother. Yahuwah is going to use you to cry. I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there I will plead with you face to face. He's going to plead with you. Face to face. Going to plead with you. He's pleading with you right now. He's pleading with you right now. Right now. Just like he did with the children of Yashar'el once he brought them out of Mitsrayim. And see, listen. He brought them out, right? And they were still in Mitsrayim. They were still in the wilderness of Mitsrayim. It wasn't until they went over to the land of promise that they inherited what he had promised, but they were still in the land of Mitsrayim. As I pled with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Mitsrayim. He's pleading with us in the land of Mitsrayim. His people that are called by his name, right? The people that he has stretched out his arm, and the people that he has poured out his fury. Now we woke. We understand that we the people. We understand what our ancestors have done, right? Now we have to accept Yahushua HaMashiach, our kinsman redeemer. Now we have to come together as a nation in the Ruach HaKodesh with the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. Excuse me, he's pleading with us. He's pleading with us. That's what he's doing. He's pleading. Listen, you need to have the Ruach HaKodesh. He's pleading with you. This is Ezekiel the 20th chapter. I've read Ezekiel the 36th chapter, but this is Ezekiel the 20th chapter, right? He says, like as I pled with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Mitsrayim, so will I plead with you, saith Adonai Yahuah. He's pleading with us now in the land of our captivities, in the land of Mitsrayim, right? 400 years is up. Yeah, we understand that. Yeah, we understand that prophecy, right? And it's true because we woke up. And if we've received the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, we're free from the curse. Right? Right? See, now we wakened up to who we are. Now we have to turn to Yahushua HaMashiach because that's my people called by my name, humbling themselves and praying and seeking my face and turning from their wicked ways. Then he hears from the Shamayim, heavens, he forgives our sins and heals our land. That's the process. Right? Right? He's waking us up. Listen, everybody in the world is woke. Right? Right? Even we got bruised that know that they are of African descent in the lands of their captivity. They don't know that they're Hebrews, but they know they're Africans. Oh yeah. They don't know about the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Listen, that's why this Besorah has to be preached. That's why what we have seen is not it. It's not it. That's why what we have seen is not it. This Besorah has to be preached. This witness has to be preached, right? He is using me to plead with you to receive the witness. See, y'all, this ain't got nothing to do with me. This has everything to do with him pleading with you. See, because I'm woke. I received the witness. Oh, yeah. I recognize where we are. Oh, yeah, listen. Enoch, the 93rd chapter. This is in the CEPHER because it's all over in different places. You know, you can go to the King James Bible, the Apocrypha edition, or you can go to an Apocrypha online, and it'll give you different chapters or anything. But I'm reading from the CEPHER, right? Right. Let's start at verse 5 of the 92nd chapter. It says, of the 93rd chapter, 93rd chapter of Enoch, right? And this is in the CEPHER Bible, right? It says, but after me, in the second week, now this is chronicling what occurred, right? This is chronicling the events that Enoch said would occur. And, some of y'all, I know y'all just don't, reference any other things but the 1911 King James edition, and, you dabble in the Apocrypha, but, you don't really, well, that's because that Eurocentric Christian Constantine, that whole Catholic canonized putting stuff together thing has got you twisted. That's all that is, right? But in actuality, it's Torah, right? So let's read. He says, now this is Enoch. This is Enoch, and his revelation of what occurred from the Most High. He says, should I start at the first week? No, let's start at I'm gonna start at the third week, right? Because the time is broken down into weeks, and weeks aren't weeks in the sense of weeks. Weeks are periods of time, right? Or periods of time where events are in between, right? So, matter of fact, let me just go ahead and start at the first verse of the 93rd chapter. After this, Chanach, which is Enoch, again began to speak from a CEPHER, from a CEPHER, from a book, right? And Chanach said, concerning the children of righteousness and concerning the elect of the world, the children of righteousness, the elect of the world. Now, who are the elect? The elect are those who have received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach and that are sealed with the Ruach HaKodesh, right? The elect, right? Or those that Yahuwah has established in righteousness, right? Okay, so let's go on. And this is, now concerning the elect of the world and concerning the plan of righteousness, right? The elect of the world and the plant of righteousness. Yahushua Mashiach is the plant of righteousness. The elect of the world are those who are attached to the plan of righteousness, who've received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, right? The plan of righteousness. You can also say that Yashar'el is the plant. Yashar'el is the plant. They are the nation. They are the They are the called out, right? They are the chosen, right? Right? He says, listen, plant of righteousness, concerning the plant of righteousness and integrity. That is Yahusha, right? These things will I speak of, and will I explain to you, my children. I am Chinook, in consequence of that which has been shown to me from my heavenly vision and from the voice of the watchers or the angels, right? The holy ones have I acquired knowledge. So he's acquired this information, this knowledge, right, of the Most High from angels, right? From the watchers. Have I acquired knowledge, and from the tablets of heaven have I acquired understanding. So Enoch had the right to enter the Shamayim and access scrolls and knowledge, right? Hey, nobody said, "Oh man, that's kind of far fetched." No, okay, yeah, it is, and so was submarines. Just because you can't understand it and grasp it doesn't mean they're not a reality. So were dragons. You know, you walk around and believing there was never dragons, but there's proof that there's been dragons. Okay. He says, Chinook or Enoch then began to speak from the CEPHER and said, I have been born the 7th in the first week, while judgment and righteousness waited with patience. So he's saying, listen, I was born the first week, right? Or born during that period of the first week, right? And in that period of the first week, right, he says, while judgment and righteousness waited patiently, right? Because it's always about the restoration of the kingdom of Elohiym in the earth, right? And Enoch was, look, we wait patiently for it, right? Right? He says, but after me in the second week, great wickedness will arise, and fraud shall spring forth, and in that week, the end of the first shall take place, right? So he's like, look it. He's saying in the second week, right? Great wickedness. So we know what great wickedness was. That was the time when the angels came and had sexual relationships with the daughters of men and produced offspring. And he taught men witchcraft and sorcery. It taught women about adorning and makeup and all these things that were not for them to have or receive from them, but they did it because they wanted the daughters of men, right? They wanted to have relationships with the daughters of men. Come on, that's in the book, right? So what we have is now Enoch is saying, listen, but after me in the second week, great wickedness shall arise. Great wickedness shall arise, right? And fraud spring forth. So it's wickedness and fraud, right? Lies, deceit, right? Everything that's attached to fraud, wickedness, right? He says, and at the end of the second week, he says, in that week, the end of the first shall take place, and with man will be saved, right? So there's a man that's going to be saved, Noah, and his 3 sons. He's going to save mankind. Right? He's going to eliminate most of the wicked, but he found one, Noah, right? And he wrought salvation in Noah, right? And delivered Noah in an ark along with those animals that he has selected, right? But when it is complete, iniquity shall grow up, and he shall execute the decree upon sinners, right? Right? So the decree upon the sinners was the destruction of the sinners, right? Oh yeah, Noah survived, but everybody else died, right? Okay. Afterwards, in the third week, during the completion of man, the completion of completion, a man of the plan of righteous judgment shall be selected after him. The plan of righteousness shall come forth. He's talking about the selection of Avraham, right? And from Abraham's seed, plant, right? The plant is Yashar'el, right? Right? It's the nation from which Yahusha would come, right? 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 He said the plan of righteousness shall come forever, right? So the nation will be forever, but Yahusha, from which the nation will come, Abraham's seed, is forever. He's eternal, right? Subsequently, in the fourth week, during its completion, the vision of the holy and the righteous shall be seen. Moshe shall witness and experience the presence of Yahuwah, right? Now, this is in the fourth week. He says, and the order of generation afterwards, the 12 tribes, the habitation, right? The generation and the habitation shall be made for them, right? So Yahuwah has established a people, right? Of the 12 tribes, and he has established a territory, a land that flows with milk and honey. This is prophecy now, right? Now, he says, in the fifth week, during its completion, the house of glory and of dominion shall be erected forever, right? Shall be erected, right? The house of dominion, right? Jerusalem, right? The temple, Jerusalem, where Yahuwah will be establishing his kingdom in the Eretz. Jerusalem, right? The house of glory and of dominion shall be erected forever. The establishment of the kingdom of Yahuwah in Yahusha will be established forever, right? Okay, now, sixth week. And after that, in the sixth week, all of those who are in it shall be darkened, and the hearts of them shall be forgetful of wisdom. So, right, after Hamashiach comes, right, Yeshua, salvation, right, but not shortly after that, it's going to be lost. It's going to be forgotten, right? They're going to forget it, right? It's going to forget it, right? And in that a man arises and comes forth, and during its completion, he shall burn the house of dominion down. So now you have Titus Vespasian, this Roman wicked establishment of the Christianity. Listen, he gonna rise, right? And he gonna burn down the house. He gonna burn down the house. He burned Jerusalem. He burned the temple, right? Right? He did it, left it, desolate, right? With fire, and all the race of the elect roots shall be dispersed. And then what we do? We were dispersed. We went into captivity. We went everywhere. Enoch wrote about this. Right. Okay. This is what I'm getting to. Right. Now, afterwards, the seventh week, because that's where we at now. Seventh week, right? A perverse generation shall arise. Perverse generation, right? What did he say in Ezekiel? He says in Ezekiel 36:23, I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. The heathen shall know that I am Yahuwah. I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen. Seventh week. Afterwards, in the seventh week, that's verse 12, And it ain't gonna always be that way because, when you look, they just get you a CEPHER. A perverse generation shall arise. Abundance shall be its disease. Abundant shall be its deeds. This generation is abundantly wicked. With the vaccines, the maxines, and the drugs, right? With the fornication, with the witchcraft, and they got television. They got all these different methods and all these different ways of perverting, right? Perverting is perversion. It's this. Perverse generation shall arise, and abundant shall be the deeds, and all its deeds perverse. You telling me that Christianity, right, that spread to the four corners of the earth, is the witness of Yahushua Mashiach? This ain't that. But its perverse tentacles. Come on, y'all. Listen. Y'all know what's in these churches. Y'all know what's in these churches. Listen, if you've ever been in these churches, you know what they are. You know how wicked and corrupt they are. You got undercover homosexual pastors. And y'all know it. And when the scripture says, but fornication, right? Pornonia, right? That's in the text. Pornonia. Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5 and 3. So y'all don't think I'm just talking off the top of my head, just trying to be nasty and mean, right? But fornication, right? That Greek word is porneia.
Strong's G 4202.
4202 G. Porneia.
Porneia.
It means illicit sexual intercourse. It's adultery, right? It's fornication, porneia, right? It's homosexuality. It's lesbianism, right? It's intercourse with animals, right? It's sexual intercourse with close relatives, right? It's sexual intercourse with a divorced man or divorced woman, right? It is the worship of idols. Perverse generation. Y'all know in these churches, it's perverse. Most of it is wickedness. Paul says, but fornication and all uncleanness and covetousness, it's not be once named. Let it not be once named amongst you as becometh the Kodashim. Right? Neither filthiness nor talking nor jesting, which are not convenience. For this ye know that no whoremonger, right? That's a male prostitute. Nor unclean persons, because it's considered unclean. Now, this is Ephesians. It's in the CEPHER. It's in the Bible, right? It's in the Bible. I'm just reading from the Bible. He says, for this ye know that no whoremonger. Okay, let's look at the word whoremonger. What does that word mean in the Greek? Right? That word in the Greek is
Strong's G 4205. Parnas.
Parnas. But it's Pornos. Pornos. Right? Pornos. Right? A male who prostitutes his body to another lust for hire. A male prostitute. A man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse. Who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse. Right. I'm establishing where we are in the 7th week of Enoch in a time in which it is perverse. Okay, listen, right? Okay. He says, for this, Ephesians 5:5, for this ye know that no whoremonger, male prostitute, right? Or nor unclean person. He talking about people that ain't had baths? No, he's talking about people who engage in unclean sexual activity. You figure it out. Right? Nor covetous man. Right? Specifies. Right? Because it's talking about pornoneo. Covering somebody's manservant. Who is an adulterer, right? Haveth any, don't have any, will not receive any part of the kingdom of Hamashiach and of Elohiym. Why? Because they don't have his Ruach HaKodesh. They are part of this perverse generation. This generation that we're a part of now. This generation in which we are passing under the rod, right? Right, as a nation, this generation. He says, listen. And all his deeds shall be perverse, right? But during during its completion, because we're getting to the end of this generation. Oh yeah. We're getting to the end of it. Why? Because righteousness shall be selected. The righteous shall be selected from an everlasting plan of righteousness. Listen. Okay. So we establish a connection, right? Now listen. Plan of righteousness. YECHEZQ'EL, the 15th chapter, the 1st verse. I am the vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit is taken away, right? And every branch that beareth fruit, he is purged, that he may bring forth more fruit. Listen, during its completion, the righteous shall be selected, right? Shall be selected from an everlasting plan of righteousness. I am the vine, I'm a plant, and my Father is the caretaker of the vine, right? Every branch of me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. If you ain't producing nothing, you got to go, right? You passing under the rod, right? You ain't producing fruit. You haven't received his witness. You don't have his Ruach HaKodesh, right? This wilderness that we're in, right? He is purging out the rebels. Because if you don't bear fruit in him, you are cut off. Yahudim who are awakened. You who are awake. You who have been awakened. You know who you are. You are Hebrews. You are of the tribe of Yahudah. Listen, you are in the wilderness under the rod, right? Right? You are in the wilderness under the rod, and he's going to prove you. He's pleading with you right now. Listen, Yahudah. Listen, Hebrews, you must receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. You must receive his Ruach HaKodesh. Listen, every branch that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purges it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Ezekiel 20. And I will bring you out from among the people and gather you from out of the countries wherein you were scattered, that I might with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury pour it out, right? That's what he's going to do to the nations after he pulls us out, Right. Now, I will bring you into the wilderness of the people. Now, he ain't talking about after verse 34, because 35 actually comes before 34, because you got to understand how the text flows. Right. So he says, I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. What is he doing right now? He's establishing a branch. He's establishing plants of righteousness, right? He says, and I will plead with you he says, like as I pled with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Mitsrayim. See, and you got to understand what he's saying. As I pled with you in the land of Mitsrayim, so will I plead with you, saith Yahuah, Adonai Yahuah, right? Listen. He gonna plead with you in the lands of your captivity, just like he's pled with the children of Israel when he gathered everyone and brought them out the wilderness. Because listen, he's literally woken most of us up. And those that aren't woken are going to be woken, right? Because listen, this witness has to be preached, right? Listen. At the completion, righteousness shall be selected. Okay. Ephesians 1 and 3. Blessed be Elohiym, our Abba, of our Adonai Yahushua Hamashiach, who has blessed us with all spiritual blessings in the Shamayim in Hamashiach. So we have all spiritual blessings, right? In the Shamayim in Hamashiach, right? Why? Because we have received his witness. Listen. According as he hath chosen us, right? Enoch says, the righteous shall be selected, right? Chosen from an everlasting plan of righteousness. You are a part of an everlasting plan of righteousness, which Yahuah has chosen. Yahushua said concerning the disciples, those that you have given me, which you have chosen, I have kept and haven't lost one, save you, Judas, which was the son of perdition, and that was just to fulfill the scripture. But everybody else you have chosen, I have kept. He is choosing an everlasting plan. He's choosing from an everlasting plan of righteousness. The plan of righteousness is Yashar'el and Yehudah. Right? An everlasting plan. Right? Through Yahushua HaMashiach. Right? But the Gentiles have been grafted in. They've been grafted in. Right? They're a wild olive branch. So they become a branch. Yeah, I don't like this. What is this? It don't matter. He says, listen. Righteousness shall be selected from an everlasting plan of righteousness. According as he hath chosen us, selected us, in Yahushua HaMashiach before the foundations of the world. Listen, this is Enoch's prophecy concerning the nation of Yashar'el, right? Concerning the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, the time which the revelation of the righteous seed, right? The witnesses that are going to be selected to declare the Besorah and the Torah of truth to those who have an ear to hear. According he hath chosen us in him before the foundations of the world, that we should be holy, righteous. Ezekiel 36 and 27. And I will put my Ruach HaKodesh in him. I will put my Ruach HaKodesh within you. I will put my Ruach HaKodesh within you. Ezekiel 36 and 27. I will put my Ruach HaKodesh in you and cause you to walk in my statutes. Right? Because you have the Ruach HaKodesh in you, right? because you have the Ruach HaKodesh in you, a righteousness shall be selected from an everlasting righteousness. We who have received the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach have been selected in him to be sons of Elohiym. We've been made alive to be witnesses of Yahushua HaMashiach. We have a treasure in earthen vessels. We are an everlasting plan of righteousness. The righteous shall be selected from an everlasting plan of righteousness. And to them shall be given the sevenfold doctrine of the whole creation. Listen, Yahuwah is revealing sevenfold doctrine of creation, right? By the sevenfold spirits of Yahuwah. The spirit of Yahuwah, spirit of wisdom, spirit of understanding, spirit of counsel, spirit of might, the spirit of knowledge, and the fear of Yahuwah. That was actually 7, but I lost a finger. I doubled a finger, actually. So we understand that righteousness is established because Yahuwah has put his Ruach in us, and we've received the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, right? Which is the everlasting righteous plan. Listen. A plant righteousness shall be selected from an everlasting plan of righteousness, and to them shall be given the sevenfold doctrine of whole creation. They will receive the witness. They will receive the witness. The spirit of Yahuwah, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and of might, the spirit of knowledge and the fear of Yahuwah, and how all of these in the Ruach HaKodesh, in the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, incorporates the doctrine of creation. Listen, I already told you the Ruach HaKodesh is given to us to establish his kingdom on the earth. I already told you that the kingdom of the earth is the mystery, right? Yahushua HaMashiach, so Yeshua, right? Which establishes us in the kingdom of Yahuwah that was established before the foundations of the earth, right? And even as he gave Adam and Havah the Ruach HaKodesh and told them to put the kibosh down on the earth and to establish a kingdom of righteous people, right? They yielded it to Satan, who was cast out of the Shamayim because he created an uproar. He wanted to be head. He wanted to be in charge. He was cast down, and he found himself on the earth. And Eve entertained his conversation instead of just telling her what the Yahuwah said. And telling Adam. And Adam going to Hasatan and casting him out. They do it. They didn't move in the Ruach HaKodesh. They moved in their thought and their flesh. Yeah, because she thought that the apple was good to touch and eat. That. Listen. Understand. We are that righteous seed. Listen. Let's finish up in Ephesians, right? He says, according as he having chosen us in him before the foundation of the world began. Before the foundations of the world. The righteous shall be selected from an everlasting plan of righteousness. Selected. You have he chosen. Right? According as he has chosen us. Chosen us. That word chosen is
Strong's G 1586. Eklegomai.
eklegomai,
Thayer's
right?
lexicon. Eklego.
Elego. To pick out, to choose, to pick out, to choose out of oneself, right? Choosing one out of many. A remnant. right? A remnant. If this Besorah be hid, it'd be hid to those that are lost. It'd be hid to those that are lost. Thus, according he has chosen us in him for the foundation of the world, that we should be holy. How do we be holy? How do we be set apart? How do we be the Kosashim? By receiving the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach and having his Ruach HaKodesh. Let's go to Ezekiel 20, right? So, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness, in the land of Mitsrayim, so will I plead with you, saith Adonai Yahuah. He's pleading with us in the lands of our captivity, right? In the land of Mitsrayim, because they were in the land of Mitsrayim when they were in the wilderness, right? Because we've passed under the rod of correction, right? We lived under the fury that was poured out, right? And now we're in the 7th week, or towards the end of the second 7th week, when the eternal plan of righteousness, the plan of righteousness that have been selected, those have been selected out of the plan of righteousness. Hello. Oh, yeah, I've been selected out of the plan of righteousness. Oh, yeah, because I'm giving you this Besorah of truth, and this Besorah of truth is Yahuwah's revelation that he's been saying to you over and over and over and over again. You better have the Ruach HaKodesh. You better receive the witness. You better receive the witness, because if you don't, you are a rebel. Listen, Yahushua considered the Pharisees rebels, vipers, rebels. They didn't want to receive the witness. They didn't want to receive the witness, so they was rebels. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. The children of Yashar'el, when they were in the wilderness, right, having been in Mitsrayim still, the territory, the land of Mitsrayim, right, still there, right, rebels. Straight just rebels. Received the Torah, received the commandment, received instructions. They didn't circumcise their kids. They didn't keep the Shabbats. They didn't do any of it, right? Because he says he did. They was in the wilderness 40 years. And you ain't circumcised your kids? And Yahuwah told you to circumcise your kids? Rebels. Yahuwah told you to keep the Shabbat holy? And he says up here, where's it at? Where's it? It's Ezekiel 20. Ezekiel 20 and 5, he says, I say unto them, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, in the day that I chose Yashar'el and lifted up my hand unto the seed of the house of Jacob, and made myself known unto them in the land of Mitsrayim, when I lifted up my hand unto them, saying, I am Yahuwah, I am Yahuwah, your Elohiym. He says, in the day that I lifted up mine hand unto them, to bring them forth out of the land of Mitsrayim into the land which I had despised for them, flowing with milk and honey, and which is the glory of all lands, right? Then said I unto them, cast ye away every man's abomination of his eyes, and defile not yourself with the idols of Mitsrayim, right? I am Yahuwah, your Adonai, right? But they rebelled against me, and would not hearken unto me. They did not, every man cast away his abomination of their eyes, neither did they forsake the idols of Mitsrayim. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them to accomplish my anger against them in the midst of the land of Mitsrayim. They were in the land of Mitsrayim. They weren't in Egypt. They were in the territory. They were in the land of Mitsrayim. Right. But I wrought for my name's sake, right? I wrought for my name's sake, right? That it should not be polluted before the heathen, among whom they were, in whose sight I myself are known unto them, and to bring them forth out of the land of Mitsrayim. So listen, I didn't kill them because I didn't want them to say that, he delivered them to kill them because they didn't want to serve him. Or I can't have my name like that. I can't, right? He says, wherefore I caused them to go forth out of the land of Mitsrayim and brought them into the wilderness, right? And I gave them my statutes and showed them my judgments, which is a man do, he shall live therein, right? Moreover, I gave my Shabbats to be a sign between me and them, that they may know that I am Yahuah, and I sanctified them. But the house of Yashar'el rebelled against me in the wilderness, right? They rebelled against me in the wilderness. They walked not in my statutes, and they despised my judgments. So yeah, they weren't keeping Shabbats. They were hanging on to idols. They weren't obeying his commandments. He says, and they despise my judgments, which is a man does, he shall even live in them. And my Shabbats, they greatly polluted. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness and consume them. I will pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness and consume them. Because they rebelled against him. Yashar'el and Yehudah, you better wake up. Yahuah will judge those in this land, right? This land, this Mitsrayim, this land. He gonna purge the rebels. 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 He says, and I will, and this is, we're in Ezekiel 20 now and 37. And I will cause you to pass under the rod. He's only corrected. And I will bring you into the bonds of the covenant. He learned obedience by the things that he suffered. Passing under the rod. Passing under the rod. The shepherds numbered the sheep with the rod. The rod is let me see what's the rod is Shebet. I think that's how you pronounce it. Shebet. Right? It is a stick for punishing, right? Fighting, ruling, walking, right? Shebet means a tribe rod. A tribe rod. The rod as a tool used by the shepherd, right? Right? This happens to be a rod. A shepherd's rod. Of course, a rod that I've made, right? It's a staff. It bears the signs of the tribe, right? The tribe is Yahudah, right? That's the rod. That's the passing under. The rod. I keep this, but not this one. I have another one. over my door. No, over my door. You come in my house. Yeah, and that rod, I've anointed it and prayed and, yeah, I did. And everything that comes into my house has to pass under the rod. And it won't come in unless it can pass under the rod. Listen. The rod. It says, it means a tried rod, or the rod. A tool is used by the shepherd, right? And the teacher. It is a symbol of authority in the hands of a ruler, whether it is the scepter or the instrument of warfare and oppression. Thou shalt break them with the rod of iron, and shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Like Yashar'el and Yahuah, got to receive the witness. He's going to break you. Got to receive the witness. You're going to pass under the rod. You got to receive the witness. You're going to learn obedience by the things you suffer. I will cause them to pass under the rod and bring them into the bond of the covenant. And I will purge from among you the rebels. Why? Because the rebels ain't going to receive the witness. They rebel. They're not going to receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Therefore, they're going to be purged. They're going to be purged. I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will purge them out. Right? Listen. Ezekiel 36 and 23. He says, I will sanctify my great name. I'm purging out the rebels. And I'm putting my Ruach HaKodesh in those who will receive my witnesses. I'm going to sanctify my great name, which was profaned amongst the heathen. The heathen took it and profaned it. But we profaned it too. We profaned it first. But the heathen profaned his name. I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen. Right? You remember Yahuah said that he wasn't going to totally annihilate the nation because he wanted his name to be great amongst the people. So he allowed a part of the nation to die off in the wilderness. And he retained a remnant to go into the land. They were in the wilderness. We in the wilderness now. He ain't gathering us all together in one spot from all over the four corners of the earth and bringing us to a wilderness. He ain't doing that. It's not it. It's not what he's going to do. He's not doing that. He's going to take us where we are, right? He's going to cause us to know who we are, right? He's going to cause us to recognize who we are. And then he's going to put before us his witness, Yahushua Mashiach, the fulfillment of his promise. And we who receive the witness will be quickened. We'll be made alive, right? Right? We will have his Ruach HaKodesh in us. And we won't sin. Because he's put his Ruach in us. He's sanctified us. I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned amongst the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. Right? And the heathen shall know that I am Yahuah, Adonai Yahuah, when I shall sanctify in you, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. Enoch 93 in the middle of the 12th verse. During the completion of week 7, the righteous shall be selected from an everlasting plant of righteousness. We have been made righteous through receiving the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. The witness, the Ruach HaKodesh, the water, and the blood, establishes us as righteous. It establishes us as righteous. An everlasting plan of righteousness, and of them shall be given the sevenfold doctrine of the whole creation. Righteousness. The sevenfold doctrine as a result of receiving the sevenfold spirit Ruachs of Yahuwah, which is the Ruach HaKodesh. See, this thing is a mystery. It's hid to those who have not received the Ruach HaKodesh. And it can't be understood by anybody other than someone who has the Ruach HaKodesh. I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all the countries and will bring you into your own land. Right? That's what he said he's going to do. Now, he says, I will sprinkle you clean with water. Right? Then I will sprinkle you clean with water, and you shall be cleansed from all filthiness and from idols and all uncleanness. How is that done? Through Yahushua Mashiach. The Ruach HaKodesh. I will put in you also a new heart, also will I give you, and a new Ruach. A Ruach HaKodesh. I will put within you. Let's do this. Yahushua says in John the 14th chapter 16 verse, and I will pray the Father, and he will give you another comforter. He will give you the Ruach HaKodesh, that he may abide with you forever. Right? Even the Ruach HaKodesh of truth. Right? Whom the world can't receive. That's why the rebels are going to be purged. Because they can't receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. They won't receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Even amongst the nation, the rebels will be purged. Because they ain't going to receive the witness. Because it sees him not, neither knows him, but ye know him, because he dwells with you, and he shall be in you. You know who he is, because he's in me. The Ruach HaKodesh without measure. But he ain't going to only be in me, he going to be in you. You're going to have him in measure, but I had him without measure. Right? Right? As he says. He shall be in you. Right? I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. I will come to you. Yet a little while, and the world see me no more, but ye see me, because I live also. You gonna see me again, because I'm gonna come visit you, and at least for 40 days. You gonna see. I'm gonna breathe on you, and you gonna receive the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay, let's go down a little bit farther. He says, end of verse 26. But the Ruach HaKodesh, or the Comforter, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said. That's the Ruach HaKodesh does. That's the Ruach HaKodesh does. It establishes you in righteousness. The Ruach HaKodesh does. Ephesians 1 and 12. That we should be to the praise of his glory who first trusted in Hamashiach, right? And whom also, after we trusted and heard the Besorah of truth, the Besorah of our Yeshua, in whom also, after we believed, we were sealed, we were sanctified with the Ruach HaKodesh promise. We were set apart. Because, according as he hath chosen us, we chosen in him, right? Because I'm getting some. Because he is the vine, John 15 and 1, and my Father is the husbandman, right? Every branch in me that beareth not fruit is taken away. Every branch that beareth fruit he purges, that it may bring forth much fruit. You need to hear the witness. You need to receive the witness. You see the Ruach HaKodesh. Because if you don't receive the witness of Yahushua, and you don't receive his Ruach HaKodesh, right? I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me, those that don't keep my commandments. And you can't keep the commandments without the Ruach HaKodesh. Because in Ezekiel 36 and 27 says, I will put my Ruach HaKodesh within you, and it will cause you to walk in my statutes. You can't even keep Torah without the Ruach HaKodesh. And ye shall keep my judgments and do them. Can't even keep the judgments of you unless you keep his. Gotta have his Ruach HaKodesh. This is what's going to happen to you. I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me. Transgression of the law, the sin. You don't receive his Ruach HaKodesh. I will bring them forth out of the countries wherein they sojourned, and they shall not enter into the land of Yashar'el. You ain't going into the kingdom. You ain't going into the kingdom. You can't receive the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. You can't receive his Ruach HaKodesh. You ain't inheriting the kingdom of Elohiym. It ain't happening. It's not going to happen. You ain't going to inherit the kingdom. It ain't going to happen. Nada. No way. It ain't happening. You got to receive the witness. You got to receive the Ruach HaKodesh. Because he's going to purge out the rebels. Right? And I will bring them forth out of the countries wherein they sojourned. I'm going to take them out of the lands that they were in. And they shall not enter into the land of Yashar'el. They ain't coming into the land of Yashar'el. Hebrews. And ye shall know that I am Yahuwah. As for you, O house of Yashar'el, thus saith Yahuwah, go. Yahuwah, go, ye and serve. Now this is, verse 20 goes back to him saying, Son of man, speak unto the elders of Yashar'el, and say unto them, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, are you an inquirer of me? As I live, saith Yahuwah, I will not be inquired of you. Now go and serve your idols. That's what he says. Go serve your idols. Go. He says, as for you, O house of Yisrael, thus saith Yahuwah, go and serve ye every man his idols. See, and if you don't understand that, man, you'll be like thinking, well, wait a minute, you telling me that you're going to purge me, then you're going to tell me that it will come to pass, I pass on the rod of the covenant, and now you're telling me to go and serve my idols. Because it ties back to what was said in verse 2. Verse 3. About being inquired. Okay, now you wanted to know. I done gave you the rundown. I done gave you the rundown of it all. Now you go do what you doing, because you go do it anyway. That's what he was saying. He was saying, go do. O ye house of Israel, thus saith Yahuwah, go ye and serve every one his idols, and hereafter also ye will not hearken unto me, but pollute ye your holy name, but pollute ye my holy name no more with your gifts and your idols, which means don't go in and come and leave here and continue to profane my name. Ezekiel 36. Verse 30, Ezekiel 36:20, for I will take you from among the heathens and to gather you out of the countries, and I will bring you into your own land. Right? He says in the 30th, I will sprinkle you with water upon you and cleanse you from all filthiness of your idols, and I will clean you. A new heart will I put in you. That's the witness of Yeshua Mashiach. The new heart. That's receiving the Ruach HaKodesh. A new heart also will I give you, and a new Ruach, a Ruach HaKodesh will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart, flesh, and I will give you a heart of stony heart, and I will give you an heart of flesh. Right? And I will put my Ruach within you and cause you to walk in my statutes. I will put my Ruach HaKodesh in you and cause you to walk. Listen, Maniyah, Muhammadiyah. I didn't even mean to go this long. I really didn't. I didn't mean to go this long. But Yahuwah knows. The Ruach HaKodesh knows. He just knows. And I'm going to do whatever he tells me to do. I'm going to say what he tells me to say. And I'm just going to trust you, Ruach HaKodesh, to meet those who have an ear to hear with this Besorah of truth. Yahuwah, I pray that in the name of Yahushua Mashiach, the words that you've given me, I've given them. Yahuwah, that I would not cause anyone to stumble, be turned out of the way, come up lame. Yahuwah, I pray that by your Ruach HaKodesh, by the Ruach of wisdom and revelation, that you would make it known unto them. By your Ruach HaKodesh of truth, your word be manifested. Yahuwah, I trust your word, I trust your word, I trust your word, I trust your word, I trust your word. Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing, and hearing, and hearing, and hearing, and hearing by the word. Yahuwah, I pray that this people, this nation, this plan of righteousness, Yahuwah, I pray in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach that they would receive the witness, that they would be quickened in the Ruach HaKodesh, and that they would be established in your kingdom. Pray for them. I pray for the other nations who have an ear to hear, that they would receive the witness and the Ruach HaKodesh and be grafted in. Yahuwah, I thank you for all that you are and all that you do, and I give you praise for all things. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach, let the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, Yahuwah, my strength and my redeemer. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, called to greatness, woman of Yahuwah, beautifully and wonderfully made. You listen. Today, Yahuwah has favored you. Go forth in the power and the strength of his word, his righteous word. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach. With that, I say shalom, shalom, shalom. Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.